What's going on, America? This is Kevin at Kevin's Corner, and I want to talk about racism. Yeah, it's a hot topic. You know, it's been pushed for years in our society, especially when it comes to politics. You know, in the political realm, racism's a big, big deal. You know, the Democrats have made their whole career and living off of race baiting. Then you have race hustlers out there that is running around like ambulance chasers, looking for every situation that is questionable so that they can get their 15 seconds of fame and get up there and incite people to go into riots without all the facts and details, and they go back home to their nice comfy cribs while everybody is in a fury tearing up the whole neighborhood that they live in. And out of this comes all of these movements, all of these groups. You know, you got Black Lives Matter, you got folk out there protesting to tear down all types of statues. And in my opinion, a lot of it is encouraged and pushed through false narratives, through assumptions, through political agendas, things like that. And people always talk about how can we deal with racism? And some of the ways that people come up with this amazes me. For example, you got Black Lives Matter. They want to boycott all white businesses during Christmas time. And I'm going, okay, what for what? What is that going to prove? Granted, see, if it was just about supporting black-owned businesses, that's one thing. But to shut down, and I believe this is what they're trying to do, to shut down the white economy, basically attack the majority, in a sense, of the business owners in the United States. Last I checked, we didn't have an overwhelming amount of minority-owned businesses, even though we do have some. But let's just say their little plot worked, and it shuts down all of the white or non-minority-owned businesses. Then we all suffer. Whole economy crashes, okay? Because last I checked, black people don't own Ford. They don't own General Motors. They don't own Dodge. They don't own Procter & Gamble. All of the stuff that we as black people use too. So I'm not sure if that's a good plan. I'm not sure what the end game is, okay? So just to throw out wild ideas that you think could spark up some movement or get the attention of America to take racism more seriously, I think is counterproductive, especially if it doesn't make sense. Then you get Colin Kaepernick and the football players. They're mad over the police and the police brutality, and they're getting all upset and taking knees and stuff like that in hopes to bring awareness to America concerning how the police treats black people. Without any type of facts or data or statistics or numbers that are thrown out there, you would think that this is an epidemic. And when I say epidemic, I'm not negating that individual black men have been shot unarmed, and it's been very questionable and sometimes obviously unlawful. But it also doesn't mean that 20, 30 black men are being shot on a daily basis, and there's some national conspiracy within the police department to say, let's go out and kill black men. And if you get 5 a month, you're going to get a bonus, because that's our goal. Let's see who wins the prize this month on how many black men you can kill. And when you hear people get upset about individual cases, that's what you would think. You would think, oh my God, they must be killing them in astronomical numbers. And if you watch the media and you're one of these people who overreact, become emotional, or just generalize, just come up and say, you know what, I'm so sick of this. You see one case on TV and you say, man, this is ridiculous, because they run it a week after week after week. Don't give you all the facts and details up front. So all of a sudden now this is embedded in your mind, and you think that this type of racism is rampant through America. And in reality, last year, only 16 black men were shot unarmed by police. And it was even a smaller portion of those men that were questionably shot and killed by the police. Meaning that all of those cases weren't cases that you can go, I don't know about that one. Some of them was, hey man, that brother got himself killed. So when you look at racism in America, the question is, how are we going to deal with it? How should we deal with it? What's the end game? What's the outcome? Now, let's be honest. As long as there are flawed human beings on this planet, there's going to be racism. It's that simple. So I think anybody would be lying to themselves if they do not recognize that there are some stereotypes we all suffer from. There are some generalizations we all suffer from. There are some isms and schisms just based off of not being intimately involved with another race that might make us concerned. Some of them are built in for our own safety. For example, just because you are a white man riding through a very questionable neighborhood, your basic senses around you should heighten. If you ride and you see a whole bunch of brothers standing on the block and the neighborhood don't look safe, and they looking in your car and you driving, a nice car, look like you shouldn't be there, your own built-in survival instinct should make you go click, let me lock the door. Now, I'm black. I've gone into some neighborhoods, black neighborhoods, where I'm going, oh shoot, these brothers look kind of concerning. Let me hit the block button. I don't want no trouble out of these. So it doesn't have anything to do with necessary race all the time. It could be just an unfamiliar area. I can go into certain white areas and go, oh man, they don't look like they're too happy to see me. Click it. Not that I'm assuming all of them hate me and all of them are racist, but my basic instinct is to say, just in case, click it. Now, on an average, I believe that America, especially with this liberalism, this push to almost shame every white person when it comes to racism, we're going to make you pay for the crimes of everybody that was white. And it got a lot of Caucasians that are hypersensitive now, and they're out there just apologizing and pretty much giving, everything the kit and caboodle so they don't look like they're racist. So I think we have come a long way when it comes to sensitivity. I think, in fact, we have overcompensated, in my opinion. But let's be honest, there's still some racism out there. It's going to happen. So the question is, what is the outcome? How do we deal with this? How will we ever, if the goal is to attack and address racism and minimize racism and educate people when it comes to racism, when you make all of these big statements and we're going to have this protest and we're upset, you always have to ask yourself, when does that end? If humans are flawed and there's going to be racism, as long as human beings are on this planet and we all have basic crooked sinful nature within us, somebody at some point gonna say, you know what, I don't like those. And you're gonna have black people who gonna say, man, I don't trust no. And you're gonna have all kind of racial statements, ideas, and opinions. It's going to happen as long as we're human. But should we simply say, let's take the easy route? Let's enable ourselves to move forward as a nation by simply generalizing racism. You will never make progress as long as you generalize racism versus individualize racism. And this is where we go wrong. Because when we generalize racism, it becomes a moving entity. If I was just to say, you know what, America is racist, there's no one to attack and deal with. Now you're dealing with this big idea, America. Show me who in America. Show me cases. Show me individuals that we can go to and say, hey, man, that was racist. But when you just say America, it gives minority groups to get upset about racism an excuse to be sorry. An excuse to say there is this big overshadowing entity that's always going to have their foot in my back because I'm black. They're always going to have me down on the ground because I'm brown. And it's always going to give us an excuse to say, man, I can't get ahead because systemic racism. What does that mean? So as long as we go, you know what? White people are racist. America is racist. Police are racist. Instead of individualizing, now what we do, we cast and isolate a whole group of people, a whole organization, a whole entity. We just say, you know what? I'm not going to point out specific cases. I'm just going to say this whole system. Now, if that is the case, you'll never get to a solution. You'll never deal with racism because you're constantly going to be saying, well, I first started off by saying all police are racist. This one police station addressed it and haven't had any reports of racism. But we just had one pop up in, say, New York. Now all of a sudden, police is racist again. All police. You're always going to have an individual case that pops up that will allow you to make an excuse and say everybody is racist. So instead of generalizing, we have to start individualizing. If you go into the hospital and say, Doc, I think something's going on with my body, and the doctor go in, this is the worst report you can have. You know what? You have cancer all through your body. There's no way to heal that. You're in trouble. There's no way to fix it. But when you say, you know what? You have cancer on this part of your lung, or your cancer in a certain location, now we can isolate that cancer, we can attack it, we can kill it and get rid of it. The worst thing is you have it all through your body. So when people say racism exists in America, when people say the police are racist, what that is saying is it's not able to be repaired. There's no solution. So we might as well get used to it then, right? We might as well just say, well, heck, if America's racist, then why are we protesting? There's no hope. Let's just go ahead and let it happen, man. Forget it, baby. Shoot, power to the people. You know, so my point is, let's stop generalizing, making excuses for us to be mad and angry and come up with all these different type of protest methods, come up with all these different ways to go out, drop, take a knee, tear up stuff, and act like the whole system is against us, instead of saying, please identify to me individuals on the police force. Please identify to me certain companies that have racist practices. Please identify to me certain politicians that are racist. Please identify to me certain individuals that are racist, and we can deal with them individually. And for the rest of y'all, if it ain't a problem, let's not make it a problem. I'm not going to go out there and just say, you know what? I'm mad for nothing. I got up today, I'm riding around, ain't no white man come up to me and call me a name. They didn't make me drink out the other water fountain. They ain't make me go to the other bathroom, but you know what? I'm mad. And you're just going into your job angry. Hey, Kev, how was your night? What you want to know about my night for, huh? Huh? Let me tell you how the black man's night went. I'm not going to be the angry black man running around looking for racism, always on edge. And I don't think that it's healthy for any minority to live their life like that. Because what ends up happening is you'll always find a reason to make an excuse to be sorry. Reason I didn't get that job because the boss is racist. Reason the police popped me in the head with that billy club is because he was racist. Maybe it was because you didn't comply with the police. So before I jump out there and just say everything is just racist and we have to deal with racism all over America, I don't know about that one. I'm saying let's find racism based off of individual cases and let's deal with it. But to generalize it, we will never ever make any progress when it comes to racism. And that's the truth. It might be tight, but it's right. And I know you're going to get some black people, nah, forget that, man. Racism as a whole, it's all... You know what? If that's how you want to live your life, under this umbrella of the man is always on my back, feel free. But I think if you were to talk to some people who lived through some obvious racist time periods where that was the norm, I'm talking about not individual cases. I'm not talking about 16 black men get killed in a year by police and some of them are questionable. I'm talking about every day, multiple numbers. Nobody's getting brought into trial. Not only the police were killing black people, but just individual white people. I feel like going to string somebody up today and string them up. Those times where you can say, you know what? Yeah, pretty much almost everybody in this state or everybody in this country or whatever is racist. But to do that right now is an overstatement, it's overkill, and it dilutes the seriousness of racism. When you just make it appear like there's the secret society all over the place that their whole mission is just to say, how can we just destroy, attack, abuse minorities? You know, so if you can identify individuals, we can deal with it. But to just say everybody's racist, I think that is overkill. I think it's unhealthy, and it doesn't lead us to the path to deal with eliminating racism. It almost encourages it. It enables us. It's constantly eluding us. If you just say America, now you grab one and something else pops up. You know, police. I deal with one case, then another one pops up. You're fighting a losing battle if you think that you can generalize racist situations or just throw a whole group of people into the racist category. You're fighting a losing battle if you say that's what we want. We want the police not to be racist. Of course we want the police not to be racist. But you cannot believe that by saying all police are racist, that we're going to get to some type of solution. You deal with individual cases. That is a practical, logical way to address it. Unlike what the media and the Democrats want us to do. They don't want us to individualize it. They want us to generalize it so that they can constantly manipulate large mass of people to think that they're always under the umbrella of oppression. And once they do that, once they say, you know what, I don't care how much we deal with one person, America is against you. The rich are against you. Republicans are against you. Police are against you. When they start making you think that, then they say, now run to us so we can be your savior, so we can be your solution. Don't focus on the individual cases. Just believe in your heart that none of them mean you well except us. We wear the white hats. And that is how you enslave a whole minority of people to a certain mentality, and you enable them and make them adopt the victim mentality constantly. We can't get ahead because the white man, we can't get ahead because Jews, we can't get ahead because of whatever group of people, we can't get ahead because the police. Oh man, I don't like police officers because they all hate black people. So don't fall for the manipulation, lose the emotions. Let's deal with racism one by one, situation by situation, logically, practically, instead of generalizing, individualizing. And that is from Kevin's Corner to you. Now, if you are in Kevin's Corner, please click like, please share, and continue to support. You can find me on social media, and I guess I got all kind of stuff going on now with the Twitter. You know how these young people are today. They use the Twitter. The Twitter, I have all of that good stuff. But feel free to check out the links below. Also, if you want to donate to Kevin's Corner, please feel free as well. There are some links below. And moving forward, we'll be talking about some great stuff coming up. God bless you, and let's continue to make America great. All right.